Welcome to Wichita Liberty TV, your weekly source for local news and commentary. This is your normally co-host, but today, this week, guest host, Karl Peterjohn. I'm here with the president of what is becoming the Wichita State University Technical Education Program, formerly Wichita Area Technical College. And just for full disclosure, Sheree, as part of this introduction, you had to put up with me for a couple of years ago. I was on the WATC board in my role as a county commissioner, and you survived.
Yes,
but
sir.
Welcome to the program.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for inviting me to be here today.
Well, we've got an important topic to discuss, particularly anybody out there who's either particularly young people or some folks who are a little bit more chronologically gifted, like myself, who may be looking for a job or trying to enhance their job skills, and wanted to get some opportunity now that Wichita State University Tech is going to be superseding, is that the right word, Wichita Area Technical College?
So we're in a transformation, a time of transformation, and Wichita Area Technical College is being rebranded as WSU Tech, and as our marketing and branding name, and our legal name will be Wichita State University Campus of Applied Sciences and Technology. So we are transforming. We have completed the process for an affiliation with Wichita State University, and we will become a 2-year institution under the WSU umbrella.
So does this change your governance? In what ways, and would it be something that the students would see or impact them, or the ability to access the programs at WSU Tech?
So a great question, because a lot of times I like to say what this isn't and what it is. So we are currently governed by a local board of senior leaders and county and city officials that have been appointed by the county manager. And this transformation and new affiliation with WSU will leave that board intact, and that board will become an advisory board to both Dr. Bardo and myself. But the governance of the institution now goes to the Board of Regents, the Kansas Board of Regents, via Wichita State University.
So you're reporting to Dr. Bardo, and Dr. Bardo's reporting to the Board of Regents?
That's correct.
And the WSU board, which is that an advisory board too for the whole university, or is that a operating board?
So the WSU Tech board will be an advisory board for WSU Tech to
Okay.
both myself and to Dr. Bardo. I think the thing that's important is for students, they're probably not going to see any difference. But I think
They won't lose any parking spaces.
They won't lose parking spaces, and parking has never been our issue. We are very fortunate about that, so that's never been an issue. Usually that's the number one problem on college campuses. We don't have that issue. I think the thing for students and for the community that's really important to know is that we will continue to be an open access institution, and so we will take all students. Where Wichita State University is qualified admissions, we are open access, so we take all students. I think the other
when
thing...
you say all students within Sedgwick County, within the state of Kansas?
Well, the great thing about this is that with the affiliation with Wichita State, we can really broaden our reach. So we can take students both locally, statewide, regionally, nationally, and globally at this point. So I think that's a huge piece for growth. We can certainly work that I-35 corridor to create more students coming into Wichita to be trained and be educated to go into the workforce with the needs that we have locally.
Well, with this new affiliation with the Wichita State University, are there programs that are being added or deleted?
No programs are being deleted, certainly, but there's going to be, the thing that it'll be great for this community and for our students is that there will be some pathways created towards 4-year degrees where the work that they do and the credits they earn at WSU Tech will transfer seamlessly into these 4-year degrees. And those degrees will be more of a Bachelor of Applied Science nature. And so there'll be more applied learning at the 4-year level. And the great thing is it'll create a seamless transferability of the 2-year skills they get at WSU Tech, whether it's in aviation, manufacturing, healthcare, IT, or engineering, into those 4-year degrees at WSU.
Okay. let me understand if you're going to be changing your name. WATC has also been closely affiliated with the National Center for Aviation Training. Does that change?
No, we are still the managing partner of the National Center for Aviation Training. And for many people, maybe they don't know, the National Center for Aviation Training is a building that's owned by Sedgwick County. They actually lease that building to us, and we are the managing partner, and that will continue to be the case. We also have, and we have since it opened 7 years ago, had quite a bit of partnership with the College of Engineering and also NIAR from Wichita State, and that will continue as well.
NIAR, I know what it means.
Okay, National Institute for Aviation Research at Wichita State.
Okay, well, Sheree, let's keep that thought in mind because we've got a lot more to talk about concerning technical education and job opportunities for young people, but we've got to take a commercial break.
Okay.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to Wichita Liberty TV. This is your guest host sitting in, normally co-host, but this week I am your guest host, Karl Peterjohn, here with the president of what is soon to be Wichita State University Tech, previously or currently Wichita Area Technical College, Sheree Utash. Let's get into a little bit of the student side of the equation.
Okay.
Tell me about your student body a little bit in terms of what it's made up of, and I really want to focus on young people out there who maybe aren't sure what they're going to do after they get out of school, or maybe they're still in high school, and what their options are in terms of getting some skills that will help them in the job market.
So, Karl, our student body is based in two areas. First, we have a very robust student body of high school students that are juniors and seniors in high school, and I'll talk a little bit about why they're there. And then we also have a very strong adult population, which I term as adults that are coming in to retrain or retool themselves for their current job or another new career, and those that I consider would be underemployed. So taking people that are in more minimum wage jobs and providing them a pathway through short-term training to a new job, a new career. And I'll give you an example of that. So I mean, the word is everywhere that Spirit needs 1,000 people in their workforce. So what we're trying to do.
But how many of those are people who need engineering degrees in 4 years, or maybe even a 5-year with masters, as opposed to people
this
in
1,000
entry position?
is all entry level.
Oh, really?
It's all entry level. And there's sheet metal assembly and CNC operators, so entry-level machinist and entry-level sheet metal assembly. And those training, what we can do for people is we can take them from a minimum wage job, put them in training for anywhere from 8 weeks to 16 weeks, and they have a guaranteed interview with Spirit, and then they have the opportunity, if they're successful in their program and in their interview, to go to work at Spirit. And at that point in time, if they're minimum wage, they're doubling their hourly rate. Plus they're getting full benefits.
So you're talking maybe around a $14 or
$15, $16 job with full benefits. So this is a great pathway for adults in our community to create greater economic value for their families and to have a new career. Because the other thing that will happen is once they go to work at Spirit, then after they've done this machining work or sheet metal work, they may look at a career ladder within the company. And if they do, then Spirit helps pay for that tuition to further their education.
That was what I was going to ask you. What sort of charge or tuition is imposed on them if they're in high school or if they're after high school?
So if they're an adult student right now, there are a lot of, the program cost are, I think, probably very reasonable when you think about the return on investment. We're doing an economic study, and one of the things that we found is for every dollar of public funding that's put into WATC, the return back to this community is $12.71. Now that's a pretty good return on investment, and that's what our students, for when they're putting $1 in, they're going to return that in their lifetime of earnings. So it's a good situation. And then of course we've had the Wichita Promise, which has provided scholarship assistance for many students in the area of sheet metal and CNC machining. So those are options. The Wichita Promise is an option that provides tuition assistance, and sometimes
Is
we'll
that for
pay
high school
there.
students or post-high school?
That'll be for post-high school. That's for returning adults. And then in our high school population, of course, we have formerly Senate Bill 155, which we now call Excel in CTE, so Excel in Career Technical Education. And that's a program that was passed in legislation a couple of years ago, and that program provides the opportunity for juniors and seniors in high school, providing they meet some entry-level criteria, that they can begin a pathway of education in all different types of career technical education, and their tuition is paid for by the state.
And these students would have some college credits, or are we talking certifications, or are we talking, there's a lot of new awards that you can receive, and I think we're going to need to get into that in more detail, but let me focus in on just how many of your student body out there, what percentage is juniors and seniors in high school, and what percentage is non-high school students?
So this year, we're going to touch a little over 6,500 students total.
Okay.
In this academic year.
Is that full and part-time, or is that all full-time?
That's all full. That's full and part-time. And out of that group, about 2,500 are high school students. So our high school community has grown exponentially. When I came to WATC 10 years ago, we had 7 high school students. Today we have about 2,500. So that has grown. We're working with 17 high schools in this area, in the Wichita and the greater Wichita SMA, and that is a great opportunity for students. I mean, it's incredible what is happening and how those lives are being changed. And it's even if you think that, if you're in high school and you think you want to be an engineer or you want to be a doctor, wouldn't it be great if you knew how to use CATIA? If you're going to be an engineer, you know how to use CATIA, how to design things.
That's a computer drafting program.
Or maybe you take a robotics class, or maybe you take a machining class to understand how things work as an engineer. Or if you're going to be a doctor, how about taking a CNA class and starting a gateway program in healthcare? Because that gives you the opportunity to learn what those people do in that environment.
We'll explore that in a little bit more detail, but we've got to take another commercial break here. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Wichita Liberty TV. I'm here with Wichita State University Technical Education, formerly Wichita Area Technical College, or soon to be, President Sheree Utash. We're going to be talking about the high school students side for just a bit, because you've really piqued my interest, because one of the challenges when I was serving on your board was the fact that getting high schools involved, and you said there are now 17 high schools from how many, do you have any idea how many different counties are we talking about? Because there's, I think, only 10 public schools in Sedgwick County.
Well, we're working with the Wichita district, certainly, USD 259. We also work with Clearwater, we work with Goddard, we work with Mays, we work with Andover, a little bit with Circle, Derby. So we're covering a good part of Wichita and the greater SMA area. Valley Center's another school that we do a lot of work with. So we're providing these opportunities. I mean, it's a great time for students to explore a career technical education, and what does that mean? And it gives them the opportunity to build a skill through training and education that results in certifications and sometimes even degrees during the time that they're in high school, in order for them to kind of explore whether that's an area that they want to work in. Today's career technical education is not your grandfather's Watc. It is highly engaged in science and technology and math. and in all of these jobs. It's it's a high level. And what we're doing is we're training and educating both high school students and adults for high wage, high demand, highly technical type jobs in this community.
Well, I'm curious, last year, how many students graduated from WATC with associate degrees?
So associate degrees or technical certificates last year, we had about 1,500 graduates last year.
So do you have a lot of students who basically come in for a certification and aren't really on a degree program? They're just trying to pick up a certain skill and...
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, retrain, retool, upskill, upgrade their resume builders, that kind of thing. So a lot of our students are degree bound, but a lot of them are not. They come in and they get what they need, and then they go to work with that certification or that. And most of our programs include industry recognized credentials. So that is a resume builder. It's a value add to people in this community when they're looking to move in their current organization, or maybe they're going to change careers and go in a different direction.
Well, I speaking from personal experience, I know a lot of folks who've transitioned and done different things in their life, and that makes for a lot of challenges and opportunities. But the focus that I wanted to get into for young people, if they're trying to get their first job, how can Wichita Area Technical College, soon to be WSU Tech, help them?
So we can help them by getting them the training that they need in whatever the area that is, whether it's healthcare, whether it's IT. Maybe you want to be an IT help desk support to get started. We have that. Maybe you want to go down a track of certified nursing aid in healthcare. We've got that. Maybe you want to do sheet metal assembly or machining. Maybe you want to be an airframe and power plant mechanic. Maybe you want to do automotive. Maybe you're interested in heating and air, what we call now climate and energy control. Maybe robotics. Maybe engineering design and CATIA. All of those different areas. The other thing that we have that is very interesting to many students is police science, which is a 2-year program that we have. We have a lot of high school students that are involved in that. And then we have an interior design program as well that we have high school interest in.
Well, we're going to wrap up this segment right here, but we will be right back with Wichita Liberty TV. This is your guest host this week, Karl Peterjohn, and WATC President Sheree Utash. Stay tuned. We'll be right back for our last segment. Welcome back to Wichita Liberty TV. This is your guest host, Karl Peterjohn, here with Wichita Area Technical College, soon to be Wichita State University Tech President Sheree Utash. Sheree, we've been talking a little bit about the student side of the equation and the programs that are available for young people. Let's turn this a little bit towards the broader community side of the equation and look at Wichita Area Technical College. It's not a community college. Until soon, it will become part of WSU, but it's not going to be part of the regular university in the sense that you're going to have an open enrollment that's a little bit different than Wichita State's. So how does WSU Tech, formerly Wichita Area Technical College, fit in?
I think it's very important that everybody understands this institution in this city is a microcosm of what business and industry need. So as business and industry go, therefore goes the college. So we move to the need, we move to the immediate workforce requests that are needed. We build programs, we're very flexible, we're very responsive to business and industry. And I think that's a very key piece. So we're making sure that what we're teaching is relevant to industry need. And so our graduates then are relevant and needed in the workplace when they complete. So our placement rate at the college is 94%. So 94% of our graduates that complete their programs either go to work in the discipline area that they were trained, they continue their education, or they're in the military. So it's a very high placement rate. It's a very good return on investment, both for public funds and for parents and students that are funding programs.
Well, keeping our community safe is an important program, and you mentioned an important function of government in our community. At the county level, it was really important when I was a commissioner and working with the sheriff's office. We've got the police departments for all the cities here in the county too. We've got a new law enforcement training center going in at the Innovation Campus. How is that going to work with the program you've got in police science, and how does this all come together for young people?
So we will be working collaboratively with WSU's criminal justice program at the Innovation Campus. I would also be remiss if I didn't tell you that our police science program, we are moving. Right now a lot of our programs are located at our Southside Education Center, which is at 47th and K15. Those programs are moving to East Harry, to the old Wichita Mall location in May, and that will become WSU South. And within there, we are putting in our police science program, along with our EMT program, our paramedic program, lots of other things that are going to be in there. So stay tuned and
well,
be available.
When you say
because it's going to be really cool.
When you say WSU South, is this WSU Tech South, or is it WSU? I mean, will there be other university?
It's a blend of the two
really?
of us. We'll both be in there teaching, so it'll be a blend of some WSU classes plus a lot of WSU Tech programs. But we are putting in a spatter lab, which is a blood pathogen investigation lab, and it'll be one of I think 2 or 3 in the Midwest region. So very, very high tech, very interesting both for bachelor degree seeking students and our 2-year students. And they'll be working collaboratively together in there. So there's another example of the affiliation and how important it is and the opportunities it's going to provide to students and to this community as we move forward.
So that transition, you literally, the school's literally moving as during 2018. That's
right.
Interesting point, and I think a significant factor out there. Well, Sheree, with the challenges of a school that's in motion and with the name change, if a business is interested in trying to expand and needs saying, hey, I need students or I need workers who can do X, Y, or Z, how can we help? What's the best way for that business to get in touch with you all?
So we'd love you to visit our website, which is watc.edu. On that, you can see a full array of everything that we do. We also have, in addition to all of our academic programs, we have a lot of customized training. We have a lot of work that we do with business and industry to retrain, retool within the industry. So we would love to, reach out and work more with industry on those kind of needs. But it's an exciting time, and I would just say that watch the transformation, because as we move from WATC, we'll have our last graduating class in May from WATC. Every student that enrolls starting in March will be a WSU student.
Well, that's going to be quite a transformation and a challenge, but I think it's a huge opportunity, particularly for young people, juniors and seniors who aren't sure where they're going to go, what they're going to do, particularly if a 4-year college or university experience is not looks optimal for them. This is certainly another pathway out there, and I really appreciate you coming in, Sheree, and we're going to wrap up this week's edition of Wichita Liberty TV. Thanks for watching.